Well, I'm going to try to finish that if I can pick up where I left off. Reagan and Al Gore, Vice President Al Gore, were related to Elizabeth. It's the same relationship or kin they are to me. Now then, Reagan spent time there in Buckingham Palace, and seems that all the presidents had all this rapport with Elizabeth. She's illegal. They've got to know it, or hey, something's wrong with the whole. They knew it, believe me. Makes you wonder about it when Elizabeth and Charles and my relative that was Queen of the Netherlands are all part of the New World Order. With the Rockefellers, the very people that kidnapped me. And people are in love with Elizabeth and this family of frauds. My God, it's beyond me, because all the torture, and I mean torture and illegal acts that have been done to me and my sons, Mark and Scott, and it's almost like people, I can't get an attorney to touch it. And by the way, I couldn't go home because Elizabeth wouldn't let me. I can't get it. I don't have money. She's got my money. I keep saying because I'm doing this and trying to grasp it while I sit here in pain. Can't get an attorney, nothing. You have to get an attorney to go into court. I can't make the charge. The police would just turn around and arrest me. So for all those people that think this country is so great, I hope one day I hope someday it's told, and you have to see, follow me in my shoes and see what was done to me. You may not, and you can't know the pain and suffering, but you can comprehend it. And you can comprehend how evil this woman is to have never spoken up. It's my understanding that she will say, we just don't speak of it, and she won't answer any questions. In regards to my kidnapping. Now that I'm going, carrying this all around, I don't have, well anyway, I don't have to say that. The point here too was after George stole the crown and I was kidnapped, which secured it, my father wanted his daughter back. What could he do? They took his name, identity, mine, put a 99-year seal on it. Anybody should ask. And why wouldn't the media or someone who wants to write a story, why would they not ask, why would you put a 99-year seal on it? What is it you're trying to hide? Anyway, World War II started. And that's when my Uncle George signed illegal treaties that allowed the Americans to put the military bases all over British and Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. I got you there, Norway. These were all my family, same as to Elizabeth. They were under a monarch system. And when the United States gained control of the UK through helping kidnap me and my dad and take out a monarch back then, they had to lie to do it, help lie and all this. My God, they installed their own monarch. Now let me go back. Wasn't that the reason that they had the revolution? And now then they install their monarch to represent them, not England, and they bring the real one over here, which is me. That's kidnapping and torture every step of the way, and they just don't speak of it, but they keep on doing it. And evidently there's not a great many people here that give a rat's. Okay, excuse me. Now then, this woman would say, people would say, oh, she wouldn't use that language. She's lived a life of glamour and luxury. She's a traitor, a fraud. She's living off of my money and the British money and hell and my sons. And she can afford to smile. Look at the hat. Let her see if she can walk in my shoes for 1 minute and see if the smile's on her face. I did want to mention this. People have blamed Great Britain when, let me scoot back up here so the light. 41 was the war, World War II. That's when all the military might of the United States under the guise of being a friend of Great Britain. Um, Really, what they did, they gave us the Marshall Plan, I believe. Isn't that what Prime Minister Thatcher said? And in essence, they made Great Britain fight for them, and they took over everything British under the guise of being friends. Well, no, and allies, no, you tied us up, and we were always hostages, the British, just as I am. Now then, over time, so much time has lapsed. I'm almost 75. In fact, in a few more days, I will be the 7th of January. I was born in 39. That's the birth date that I was given, and I think it's close enough. It's not the real birth date. But I want to remind people, and I'll just read this much. Uh, Much of the rest of the empire was dismantled in 20 years following the end of World War II, the Second World War. Um, that's when my Uncle George, Elizabeth's father, and then she assumed the crown illegally. And they got rid of everything British. Lied. Many of the former territories of British Empire are members of the Commonwealth of Nations. Now, I think I'm right if there's 16 left. It used to be, not long ago, well, long ago I guess it is, before I was born, um, the sun never set on the British Empire. Now then, look. And when people make comments which perhaps they just don't stop and think or they don't care, or they blame the British when crimes are going on, when the British are made to fight with the United States. Does anybody stop to think it? My God, um, the British wouldn't fight and die uh, and fight against themselves. Yet people so easily, nobody asks questions. Who do they think helped supply the Irish with all their bombs and all their fixings that went into Great Britain? And how about there's certain things like thalidomide? There's other ways to create a war and take down a country. Kidnapping their leaders, a good start, isn't it? But how about the mad cow? Now then, I can't prove that, but the other is you can do a DNA. And let me say this, that right next door to me in Charlottesville, I came here in 86, October, to Roanoke. In Charlottesville was where Anastasia was. And yes, that was Anastasia. And they tortured her with psychological warfare and everything in the book. And it's been shut up. That was really Anastasia, and she's a cousin to me. Um, and here I am, they're doing similar, if not the same, to me. The one thing also, I'm getting away from it, but I walked, seriously, I was walking with, I'd had brain damage from the antifreeze put in me April the 1st of 80. I'd worked for the district attorney in Huntsville then, trying to keep a straight face and my ducks in a row when I had brain damage and should have died from the antifreeze, and trying to pretend that nothing happened because I was told not to mention any of it. So I got shut down and couldn't get any jobs. So in 82, I took what money I had and the letter from the FBI I had about an ongoing investigation, national security involved. I took it and I left a copy at the White House post office. I remember, I didn't know about being martyred in Windsor then. That was the following year that I found out my real name. So I had the book from the U.S. Attorney, the FBI, and I put it on top of a lot of other documents and the book I had written on mind control. I went to the White House post office. Kind of shocked me when the guy that came out from behind, and I had to sign this big book to leave it, and he took it because I had it boxed and a letter from the FBI on front of it, taped. It was Reagan's adopted son. And then all hell broke loose after I left there. I mean, it's hideous